Hi, I'm Ellen Croft-Vennen, the marketing manager at Healy Group. I'll be your host for Healy Talks, an up-close and personal look at what we do. We're in the financial planning, employee benefits, and insurance business. What we do is important. How we do it sets us apart. Come with me and meet our guests for today's episode. My guests today are Chris Rowland, a Healy Group owner, Rich Pruse, the current Healy Group president, and Randy Rossetti, the past Healy Group president. Thanks for joining me.
Good to be here.
Thanks.
Randy, I like a good story. Tell me the story of how the Healy Spirit came to be.
Well, I think I'd trace it back to 2011. At the time, we had 6 owners. 3 of them were over the age of 60 and all very interested in retiring, and there was Chris and Rich and myself. And so we began a series of conversations, had a lot of good conversations. There was a real good spirit amongst us. They were very interested in the company going on and doing well and succeeding into the future. And we were at the end of the day able to come up with an agreement that I think, as all parties would look back and reflect upon it, say that it was a win-win for everyone. But then things got interesting as we flipped the calendar and into January of 2012. I would kind of liken it to what some parents describe as the empty nest syndrome. And this is where the common project of raising the children has come to that point where the last child is coming out the door and the 2 spouses look at each other and say, "Who are you?" And so we were looking at each other with regards to it, and what we discovered was that we all had very different ideas on how we wanted the company run and where we wanted to go. And we're all pretty passionate individuals here, and so as the months ensued, the tensions ran higher and higher, and we realized at that point that we did what anybody else would do in that situation. Let's call the California consultants. So we called this group in, and they proceeded to do something, took us through an exercise that was very helpful, and that was they interviewed each of us one-on-one, and they asked us one question, and that is, what do you want for the company? And we were able to express in great detail what each of us wanted, and they were able to compile our answers, and then we were able to share them among each other. And what we all came to the discovery was that we all wanted the same thing for the company. It's just that we all had different ways of how we wanted to get there. I'd kind of liken it to being out in the Rocky Mountains, and we have this beautiful mountain before us, and it's the 3 of us together. We all know that we want to get to that peak of the mountain. It's just we all have different ways that we want to go in terms of how we're going to get there.
That's a good story. Rich, tell me, how did you narrow the Healy Spirit down to the 4 tenets? Love wins, make it a great day, do the right thing, and be better.
Well, Ellen, we started out with trying to figure out what are we about, and we just listed on a piece of paper all the things that we were doing that we thought were really good and all the things that we valued. And it was probably like 50 things, and we just started to narrow it down, and some of those things were basically saying the same thing in a different way. And it started out very wide, and it narrowed down, and some themes emerged, and we were able to narrow it down to our 4 core values. And so we got it to that, and it looked good, but it was like something's just missing. And what we realized was it was like a philosophy. It wasn't like active, and it just needed more oomph. So instead of have a great day, make it a great day. And just the whole idea that what you do says a lot more about you than what you say. So we wanted it to be a statement of activity or action, that this is what we want to be doing versus we're just thinking this.
That's very insightful. Chris, tell me, how did the organization roll out the Healy Spirit?
It's a good question. So once we had it baked to where we were happy with it, we called all the staff together. We had a big meeting where we rolled it out and kind of went through it step by step, explaining the philosophy behind it, the actions that we wanted to come out of it. After that, we got everybody this acrylic piece here, which has all the elements of the Healy Spirit, just as a nice reminder to have on their desk. We featured it prominently on our website, as well as on sell sheets, where we talk with prospects about who we are and say these are more than slogans, they have real meaning to us. We put it in our performance evaluations, so we have a question in there that says, how do you feel you best exemplify the Healy Spirit? We wanted people to just be self-reflective about it and what they do. And the last thing we do is we have a breakfast company meeting about 3 times a year. And at those meetings, one of the owner will give a short talk on one of the elements of the tenets of the Healy Spirit and give concrete examples of what it looks like. So we just want to hold it up for people to have in front of them at all times.
Well, it's been really fun to hear how the Healy Spirit came to be and how it still lives today so many years later. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Great to be here.
I'm Ellen Crow-Finnan, your host for Healy Talks. Thanks for sitting in on our conversation today. Join us for our next episode when we share some stories of the Healy Spirit in action. Make it a great day.